Good morning, class. Today we're going to go over the Incan Empire. Last week we went over the Aztec Empire. These cultures are very similar. They're both, of course, ancient civilizations. They had great social structures that they were able to last for a long time. Unfortunately, the Incan Empire had to fall. Um, Disease had to do a part of it, but Spanish conquistadors came in and were able to conquer their land. Some overview is the Incan Empire had a very complex government. They had a great system of roads. For some reason, they didn't really have good system of trading, but with their complex government, they were able to make sure everybody in their culture or in the civilization had a job, a home, and something to eat. They called their emperor Sapa Inca. The first emperor was Manco Capac, and he was the founder of the Kingdom of Cusco in 2100 AD. The empire didn't start until the reign of Pachacuti. He was able to develop the Incan Empire and have inhabitants of 10 million people. Like I said before, the Incans were conquered in 1533 by the Spanish under the power of the conquistador Pizarro. The Incans started off very small in Peru. They were able to culture a neighboring tribe, the Chimu culture, and so they were able to expand to their location, what they were. They're located on the west coast of South America. They were including parts of Ecuador all the way down through Chile. Pachacuti was the leader that was able that created the Incan Empire. He was a very powerful military strategist, statesman, and diplomat. Had enormous skill, and he was able to expand their land. The Incas is the term that refers to the empire as a whole, but mainly to the ruling aristocracy. Um, on the next slide, I'll show you just the different social structures. Here you can see that the Inca, like I said, is referring to the Sapa Inca as the emperor. The royalty is the direct line of the Sapa Inca, so the successor is the son of the ruler. The wife also is under that class, and just first generations of that royal family. The nobility is blood from the nobility, and just they had a great privileges, and they counted as like the high chiefs or high priest. The last one is just the general public, the ones to the military or races, and servants of the emperor. They had a great architecture system. It's very simple but elegant, focused on the trapezoid, and they were able to make great stonework. So here's a little sample of what they were able to use to build their great empire. They specialized, of course, in the mountaintop forts. In the picture I showed earlier, it was a famous civilization of Machu Picchu. You can see the great stonework that they were able to use. They also used a very complex system of agriculture. They were able to develop an irrigation system that they were able to expand their crops. And they focused on highland areas. They had a great drainage system and canals that were able to expand their crops. Their main crops that they used was potatoes, tomatoes, cotton, peanuts, and cocoa. And they were able to use llama they were able to transport the meat and all of the crops. Here's the famous civilization of the Incan Empire of Machu Picchu. You can see the highland areas that they lived in, and on the side of the buildings they would have their agriculture on the side of the hill, and the major stonework on the side or on the top. So the Incan Empire came to an end at 1535, completely under Pizarro. There's the Spanish conquistador. The final battle was 40,000 member army, and they were able to destroy the Incans that only and the Spanish only had 180 members. Just their weapons were too advanced for the Incan Empire, and they're very weak just because of the civil war that they just had between two brothers, and just diseases that spread through the empire. All right, thanks for listening. I'll tell you guys the homework after class, and you guys will work on it during class. All right, thank you.